All right, you guys, so it took a little bit of a moment, but Barcelona were able to solve the hard knot that was Real Oviedo. They managed to mount another comeback. They beat them 3-1. Let's talk all about it. But first, in case you're watching this video for the first time or this is coming against your feed and you haven't seen my face before, hi guys, I am Just Max, and on this channel I talk about football from the Laliga to the Prem to the UCL, and of course it's always going to be Vizca Barca for me on this channel. So if this is something that you're very much interested in, please stick around, be my friend, be my homie, like this video, share a comment about your thoughts about the game, leave me all your thoughts, and of course I will be happy if you could subscribe as well. But first, let's look into what happened in this match, because certainly with Real Madrid dispatching Levante earlier this week, we knew that Barcelona had to win this match, because if they had failed to do so, they would certainly have been 5 points behind Real Madrid, and we cannot have that, because we cannot afford a space to continue to grow between Barcelona and Real Madrid, especially because Real Madrid are in a lightning form right now. Kylian Mbappe has been scoring on all levels, and Barcelona needed to keep pace. But we also knew that with important games coming up in La Liga and certainly in the Champions League next week, Hansi Flick needed to rotate the squad a little bit just to give, something new, a fresh perspective, and keep his players ready for Real Sociedad on the weekend, and then of course PSG later next week. So this is the squad that Hansi Flick chose to put out today. It was Juan Garcia in the goal, which is something that we've come to become cognizant with. It was Gerard Martin, who's still deputizing for Alejandro Balde in left back. Pau Kubasi returns for the first time since that Newcastle game where he took a knock, so we were very, very happy to see him, and boy oh boy did he have a solid performance. Ronald Araujo comes back into the starting lineup for Barcelona, and boy oh boy did he have a really, really good performance. I was flabbergasted from what I saw from Ronald Araujo today. Top tier stuff. Eric Garcia also had a solid performance for Barcelona. Pedri, on the other hand, was the one who was in the midfield for Barcelona. We've come to know Barcelona, is synonymous to Pedri at this point. But his partner in midfield was a little bit changed this time around. It was Marc Casado and not Frankie de Jong, who we have come to know and love. And then moving into Barcelona's attacking front, it was Marcus Rashford on the left-hand side, Dani Olmo in the 10th position, and Rafinha on the right-hand side. Leading the line was Ferran Torres in place of Robert Lewandowski, who has been starting much of Barcelona's game from the bench this season. Now, let me tell you, immediately this match started, I knew that it was going to be one of those games, but what surprised me most was the fact that Barcelona were finding it hard to play out of the back. Now, this is something that has been sounding as an alarm to me personally as a Courier. We saw this against Newcastle. We had the first 10 minutes of the game, or the first 20 minutes of the game in that Champions League match. Newcastle pressed Barcelona so hard that they found it very difficult to play out of the back. And the same thing happened here again today, where Barcelona were pressed so much in that first 10 minutes that Oviedo ended up having a succession of corner kicks, which they didn't end up taking advantage of any of them. But had they had a modicum of quality, they very well could have, and it could have spelled problems for Barcelona. The reason why I bring this up is I have been watching a lot of Real Madrid matches, and Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso has picked up the habit of pressing and recovering balls higher up on the opponent's pitch. So if Barcelona are finding it hard to play out of the back under the face of intense pressure, and Real Madrid are suddenly picking up the habits of being able to press and recover balls high up the pitch, and putting them in very good positions to score goals, then what I'm seeing is that Barcelona are potentially putting themselves in a position where Real Madrid can take advantage of them in El Clasico. Of course, that is still some way down the line for the future, but this is something that is at the moment signaling a warning bell to me, and I will very much like it if Hansi Flick could address this. There's no reason why teams like Oviedo should be pinning Barcelona down into their own half. Like, there's just absolutely no reason. But anywho, Barcelona were going to end up being able to power through that first, intense bit of pressure. They did have some moments where I felt like they could have very well been on the score sheet. There was that bit of moment where Rafinha hit the bar, and then the follow through was, I want to say it was Ferran Torres, but he just slightly put it off wide. So it's not to say that first half from Barcelona was not a really good one. There were moments where they really had good scoring opportunity. They just didn't take their chances when it came their way. Now, one of the things that characterized that first half for me again was the way the Oviedo were able to manage their defensive shape. Let me tell you, the way I looked at it, it just gave off one of those matches that was going to be very hard for Barcelona to crack. Because if you wanted to pass the ball and, you know, do one of those Barcelona creative tiki-taka moves to score a goal, once you started to go into that Oviedo lower third, it was just a wall of bodies. Every time the Barcelona tried to create something, there was an interception, a very crucial interception that was being made, an outlet pass that Oviedo were trying to relieve the pressure. Just the fact that Barcelona just couldn't find that at the end of the day to secure it for them was something that was very worrisome for me. I knew that this was definitely going to be a hard nut to crack. Certainly, Oviedo has set themselves very well in that defensive structure. It was very compact. It was very, very well drilled by their coach. They should feel very, very proud for what they were able to do today in that first half. And certainly, the fact that they were also able to take the lead in that first half should not be underlooked as well. It's not even just because that, you know, Juan Garcia took a temporary leave of his senses that Oviedo was able to score. It's also the fact that they were able to just press Barcelona and put Barcelona in positions where, one, they were not able to get most of the things that they wanted to do, get it off correctly, and two, put them in positions where they were backtracking and, you know, for having them to defend very, very shaky defending. Because let me tell you, that Barcelona defense in the first half, it was very, very shaky. It was very, very scary. As a Barca fan, I was stressed to the T. But let's talk about that Real Oviedo goal and what happened in that sequence of play. Because honestly, for a moment, I was flabbergasted. I was behooved. I was benign. I was shocked. Yeah, there's nothing for me else to say. I was just shocked because when I watched the game, when I was seeing that sequence of play, all I kept on saying, what the heck is he doing? And I was like, bloody hell, when the goal went in. Because what has happened was a ball is put over the top. Juan Garcia comes out rushing for it. Could he have let his defenders handle it? Probably he should have, maybe he could have. But his first touch to the ball, sensational. I thought it was great. He could have very well tried to like play a long ball, then recover back to his penalty area, because certainly he had come a very, very long way out of his penalty box. I thought he could have easily done that, but he did not do that. He did make a dribble on a player. I thought, okay, fine, no problem. Then, you know, go long. He did not do that. He tried to make a pass. The pass was misplaced, and suddenly Oviedo found themselves in a situation where they were looking at a gaping net. Yes, the keeper is right there. There are a few defenders further back, but really there was just like, if you had the precision, if you had the strength, you could really just aim for the net. And Alberto Reina definitely saw his opportunity, took it and lobbed the entire Barcelona defenders. And it was 33 minutes and Barcelona are staring down a 1-0. And the one thing that made it very frustrating for me in this game was the fact that Real Oviedo did not give you any reason to believe that they were about to be cracked from a defensive perspective. They did not give you any reason to have any kind of modicum of hope that you can recover from this, because they were defending very narrowly. They were defending very compact. They were definitely defending strong. And of all the moments that Barcelona have had, and Juan Garcia has been for our goalkeeper, I have never seen him like just be this reckless. I've always loved him because he was always very strong, very decisive, a goalkeeper that you can rely on. So today I want to just chalk it down to a temporary leave of absence in his mental faculties. So we're just going to leave that. Coming into the second half though, we went into halftime from there, and I knew that Hansi Flick were going to have the nice talk with the boys that was going to get them fired up. But coming into the second half though, I still felt like Real Oviedo, they started out the better side. They kept on pressing Barcelona. And again, we kept on finding it very difficult to play out the back. In fact, for a majority points of this match, we found it very, very difficult to play out the back, that I found myself saying go long multiple times as I was watching this game. And it was just because it was very, very difficult, and I did not want to risk the fact that if our players were to lose the ball or to make a mistake, we could find ourselves facing down a Real Oviedo attack very quickly. And let's not even forget the fact that Gerard Martin was not having a good game at all by any standards, not even just by Barcelona standards, by any standards at all, because this Hassan, he had his number all game long. He turned Gerard Martin inside out, every which way but loose, and I was very, very nervous for that Barcelona defending. But Barcelona did end up coming into the game, and would you believe me when I said it was from the unlikeliest of sources? Because it is Ronald Araujo who will start the Barcelona comeback. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Ronald Araujo started Barcelona's comeback, and I did not think in my bingo card in 2025 La Liga season that I would be saying Ronald Araujo is the leader of our comeback. He's usually criticized for things when they go wrong, so I want to take some time to appreciate him in today's game, because today that first goal for Eric Garcia, chef's kiss, the way he drives down the left hand side, because he had switched temporarily with Gerard Martin, because again, like I said, Gerard Martin was having a tough time. And then the way he takes the ball up the pitch, goes to the byline, puts a cross into the box. I think it takes a bit of a deflection, I can't be sure right now, but then it ricochets, it goes to Ferran Torres. Actually it goes straight to Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres does a flick, the goalkeeper parries the ball falls, hits the bar, and then who's in the right place at the right time, the first person to react to the ball, it is Eric Garcia, who is there for a tap-in. And one of the things that have become characteristic of Eric Garcia and Barcelona is when there is a remontada to be had, when there is a comeback goal to be scored, it's often Eric Garcia who is in the midst doing the most, and I live for him. And that was on the 56th minute, and I have to make mention of this. Whenever Barcelona are down in the first half, I think they make it a point of duty to try and score within the first 10 minutes of the second half, because if we are going to try and win the game, we need to get the ball rolling very, very quickly. But that goal would not deter, it would not deter Real Oviedo. If anything, it made them more emboldened. Yes, they were briefly shaken, but they still came out, they still kept on pressing. And I like the fact that Hansi Flick ended up taking Gerard Martin off the pitch, replaced him with Kunde, because like I said, it was giving tough. It was giving trials, tribulations. I'm going through it. Get me out of here. And when Kunde came into the defense, it was a little bit more sturdy, I felt a bit more relaxed. Him and Eric Garcia shifted a little bit. Eric Garcia comes back into that left-hand position for Barcelona. Kunde slots into the right-hand side of Barcelona. And I felt a little bit more confident. We did have Frankie de Jong coming at halftime. Rafinha was taking off because he was not really having a good game. I like Rafinha, but he was not really having a good game in this one. And again, the substitutions from Hansi Flick will prove very pivotal to Barcelona, because we bring in Ferran Torres, so we take off Ferran Torres and we bring in Robert Lewandowski. So all of the substitutions that Hansi Flick make in this match end up playing crucial parts to ensure that Barcelona gets the win. First off is Robert Lewandowski and Frankie de Jong. Barcelona are going ahead in the match, attacking. They are attacking Real Oviedo. And when I tell you this second goal for Barcelona happened so quickly, I did not even see it coming, because first of all, it's a throwing situation. Frankie de Jong picks up the ball, after it being tossed to him. And then he just has the vision to see Robert Lewandowski in between 5 Oviedo defenders. Now, let me tell you the skill it takes for Frankie de Jong to be able to find Robert Lewandowski with an accurate cross, a pinpoint accurate cross. And the strength that Robert Lewandowski has to parry the ball and put some power behind the ball, that it goes beyond the Oviedo goalkeeper. Let me tell you, it was such an unsavable header, because it even hits the inside of the bar and bounces into net. Everything for this match, this goal happened so quickly. I live for it. I was screaming my lungs out, because I could not believe that just a few minutes ago we were down 1-0, and suddenly Barcelona have done it again. The Remontada FC, they have done it again. They are back. We're 2-1 ahead, and it's all thanks to the substitutions that Hansi Flick made, bringing in Frankie de Jong, taking off Casado, bringing on Lewandowski, taking off Ferran Torres, and I live for it. Robert Lewandowski, he has been wanting to score from the last game against Valencia. He did not get a goal then. Sorry, the last game against Getafe, he did not get a goal then, but today he was certainly rewarded, and he could have had multiple goals too in these games. To be fair, I felt like he had a very, very good game. He took up great positioning, and I live for it. Oviedo, for their part, they kept on pushing. They felt like they could get something more. So I knew that Barcelona needed to score a third, because again, like I said, that defense was shaken. It was you know what, it's fine. we win the game. That's the most important thing. And again, the third goal comes from Ronald Araujo on the 88th minute. It's a bullet of a header from Ronald Araujo. We did end up scoring 2 headers in this game. I live for it. And to think that Ronald Araujo started the comeback and finished it by scoring that bullet of a header in the 88th minute to put the game well away from Real Oviedo's dreams, I live for it. And what that means is that Barcelona takes 3 points away from this match and now 2 points behind Real Madrid, who will be playing Atletico Madrid at the weekend. It's a very, very big game and I'm looking forward to it. I'll be here to talk about all of that game. Now, from a Real Oviedo perspective though, I do want to take a moment to talk about the performance. I felt like they were really good. The unfortunate part of the situation was they were playing a Barcelona side that's also really good, that knows how to come back and that knows how to be patient and score. So I don't think that they should take this as any kind of slight. The fact that they have ended up losing this game, 3-1 to Barcelona. Barcelona are the champions of La Liga for a reason, so it's not a slight to them. I think that if they continue to play this way, to attack opponents with this kind of intensity, the intensity that they showed Barcelona today, I do expect them to not be relegated this season. They certainly do have the quality, they certainly do have the temerity, they certainly do have the effrontery to go ahead and stay up and to win some very, very good matches. So there will be some games that I expect them to take some valuable points, especially when they meet everybody else. They have played Barcelona, they have played Real Madrid. It's not shame losing to the top two teams in Spain, so it's okay. They did so well. I cannot even fault what they did today. They put in the work, they worked hard. Every Real Oviedo player today, they certainly worked hard and they deserve the point, if I'm being honest. But they played Blaugrana and the quality of Barcelona is just far beyond anything that they had in their arsenal to counter. So just keep your chin up. You will get your own points from other matches. There's no shame losing to Barcelona, to be fair. From a Barcelona perspective though, those defensive lapses is something that I want us to address. And then the ability for us to be able to push up the pitch, especially when we are being pressed, is something that I want us to address. I am certainly excited that Lamine Yamal and Alejandro Balde are certainly gearing up to be ready to come back, from their injuries, because after what I've watched from Gerard Martin today, I do not feel comfortable with him starting for Barcelona against PSG. Is just giving. No, it's not what we need. He's going to be eating raw in that match. Absolutely not. If there is a way that we can get Alejandro Balde ready and fit for that match, I would absolutely love that to be the case. Lamine Yamal to be able to have his creative outlets in this match again would have been great, but we were able to get the job done without him. So if there's an opportunity to get him ready for that PSG match, I would certainly love it. But again, I want to keep hammering on that defense. I've seen it now against not PSG. I've seen it now against Newcastle, and now I've seen it against Real Oviedo. The ability for Barcelona to be able to press out of the back, especially to play out of the back, especially when they are being pressed hard, has been something that has been tested by some teams this season. So far, we've gotten away with it, but if we keep playing this way, I fear we may be in trouble by much better teams, definitely the Real Madrids and the PSGs. But that has been it for me. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comment section. As always, let me leave me a like or follow if you like my vibe or you're a Black Barca fan, and I will be very, very happy and pleased to welcome you into the family. But until next time, bye guys.